Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, just imagine breathing in a strong, resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to relax, your eyes to feel heavy and tired, and to position your body in a way that you can feel as comfortable as you can. As you breathe in and breathe out, just get a sense that you're breathing in that resourceful feeling, but tension and stress is leaving your body in your outward breath. That's right. I want you to notice that as you relax, you're breathing slower than you normally would, but also you're breathing deeper than you normally would. And those slow, deep breaths enable those feelings of tension or stress to leave your body, breath by breath. And you can notice where tension feels like it is. Perhaps your jaw, your forehead, your neck or your shoulders. And as you release that tension, it almost feels like your body's feeling lighter, your muscles are feeling looser, and you're able to access that wonderful feeling of calm and tranquility. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine you're on your way to a clinic, maybe a hospital, and you're there for a reason, to make a change. I want you to imagine that maybe a week or two ago, you'd already gone to this clinic or hospital and they explained the process of a gastric band, which is why for the last few days you've been on a liquid diet. Soups, juices, healthy shakes. So your stomach already feels like it's empty. You haven't eaten anything in a few days, and you haven't drunk anything for at least 12 hours. Your stomach is empty. Your bladder is empty. And yet mysteriously you don't feel hungry. It's almost like your body is prepared for this surgery. I want you to imagine that you're arriving at the reception of this clinic. I want you to notice how clean and organized everything looks in this clinic. And the receptionist shows you a waiting area. And in this waiting area is a large TV screen. And that TV screen is explaining the process of a gastric band. You can see on the screen a graphical representation of a stomach. And then you can see almost like a silicone plastic, almost like a belt being tightened around the stomach to turn the normal shape of a stomach almost into that of an hourglass, contracted in the middle, creating an element of resistance, that food would enter the stomach. But it would be very difficult for the stomach to do what a stomach normally does, and that is expand. Because the stomach is one of those unique body parts, a unique organ that changes shape. If you were to eat a lot of food, your stomach would get bigger. And if you didn't eat for a few days and just drank liquids, your stomach would shrink to be very small. And there on that screen you can see that when the band is around the stomach, it stops the stomach becoming big. Therefore, whoever's eating is limited to the amount of food that they can eat. There is a demonstration on that TV screen that because the stomach is contracted, it's all the more important to chew the food so the food becomes smaller and easier to pass into that stomach. And you can imagine the stomach like an hourglass. In order for the grains of sand to move from the top of an hourglass to the bottom, the particles need to be smooth, tiny. Big chunks would just get trapped in the upper section. But the explanation linked to chewing the food isn't just that it helps the surgery, but also the taste buds don't exist in your stomach or in your gut. The taste buds are on your tongue. So that's where all the pleasure is. So by chewing the food slowly, deliberately, it means that you get more pleasure and joy and satisfaction from the food, even if you're eating less. On that same screen, it shows what's about to happen where the incision takes place, how the band is navigated up towards the stomach and almost lassoed around and then tightened, using almost like an internal camera inside the body. And it gives you a sense of reassurance that they've done this procedure many, many times. And therefore, you don't feel nervous about experiencing this gastric band process. At this point, the anaesthetist asks you to move to a different room, no longer in the waiting area, but into a room before you go into surgery. The anaesthetist explains where the surgery will take place and gives you the anesthetic, and you can feel a tingling, numb sensation around your stomach, around the abdomen. But it also makes you feel a little bit droopy and drowsy, a bit woozy. Not a bad sensation. You're awake, but kind of disorientated. As a porter then wheels you in to the room for surgery. And again, you're aware of how clean everything is. It has that smell of the surgical scrub, the disinfectant. There are bright lights. Everything is pristine, giving you a sense of reassurance that you are in safe hands. You see the surgeon and the assistants, and everything looks very well prepared. I want you to imagine that you are closing your eyes there on that operating table, thinking about what your future will be like after this band has been implemented on your stomach. And you make some decisions to yourself that if you're going to be eating less food, then it makes sense that you get better quality food. You also make a decision with yourself that if you're eating less food, if you're eating half as much food, you're going to enjoy that food twice as much at least by having better quality food, but also giving it all of your sensory attention You'll make an effort to smell the food, experience the texture of the food. You'll make more effort to chew the food and really taste all of those subtle flavors in the food. You'll appreciate how it looks, how it smells, even the sound when it's being cooked or prepared, or the crunch in your mouth. As you realize that the more of your senses are focused on the food, the more you will enjoy the food that you have. So if you enjoy your food twice as much, but you're eating half as much food, you're not losing any pleasure at all. In fact, you're gaining pleasure, because every time you catch yourself in a reflection of a shop window and you see that your body is changing shape, you get that feeling of confidence and a feeling of being in control of your life and your choices. You also imagine that there are certain foods that it just doesn't make sense to eat anymore. If your stomach is small, why would you fill that precious space in your stomach with things like bread? Wouldn't you save that space for high quality, nutritious, delicious foods, rather than just bulking it up? And you make a promise to yourself that you will give the majority of the food that you eat natural foods. So if it's made in a factory or made in a laboratory, it becomes less appealing. And then you notice there's a sensation. You can overhear the surgeons talking to each other, and they tell you they're about to make an incision, but you don't feel anything because the anesthetic is doing its job. You notice some sensations but no pain, and you can hear the surgeon communicating with their assistants that things are going well, that the band is being attached and looped around the stomach, contracting it in, making it about the same size as a fist holding a golf ball, giving you an idea of approximate portion sizes for you to eat your meals. And maybe it makes sense to serve your food on a smaller plate, to give you an idea that that is your portion size. The doctor has already informed you that you need to wait at least 4 hours between meals to give it enough time to pass from the stomach down into the digestive system. And it helps to think of your stomach as that sand timer. That when you eat food, you're going to enjoy it, but you're willing to give it time to pass through that sand timer, to move from your stomach into your gut. And the surgeon has also warned you that if you try and overeat, there is a danger that the band slips. And if it slips too much, it will fall off the stomach and almost be like you've never had the surgery at all. So this isn't something to resist. It's something to work with. To consider the gastric band almost like training wheels on a bike when you were young. You didn't ride the bike for you, but it helped you to pedal and steer without falling off. This gastric band does not lose the weight for you. It just assists you in making excellent choices. Choices that will mean that your body gets used to smaller portions but still enjoying that food. And in doing so, gives you the ability to lose weight and enjoy the process. You can hear the words that The surgeon is happy that the surgery has taken place. They don't need to stitch you up, they just use surgical glue, and they explain that it will naturally fall off after the skin is healed. They recommend to stay 24 hours in a recovery room, just to make sure that if they need to make any adjustments or changes, or there's any feedback, that you are there in a safe place. And I want you to imagine you're just relaxing on a recovery bed, and open your mind to suggestions about what has happened. That your stomach is now becoming smaller and smaller, and with this gastric band placed around it, your appetite is decreasing. That you'll feel satisfied and content with smaller portions of food, allowing your body to naturally and comfortably lose weight. That as you eat, you'll find yourself chewing slowly and mindfully, really savoring each bite. Because if you're eating less, you want to enjoy more. Your body craves healthy, nourishing foods that support your weight loss goals. And you'll pay attention to when you feel like enough is enough. And you'll naturally stop eating when you feel comfortably full, listening to your body's signals. Water is your new best friend, and you drink plenty of it, because a lot of the time you're not hungry, you're just thirsty. You'll be motivated to be more active, maybe walk more, or use your body in a way that makes the most of your body. And when you eat, you'll eat slowly and relaxed and really enjoy your food. And you're giving yourself permission to let go and release any past emotional attachments to food. Food is a coping strategy that isn't the best. So release the idea that food actually helps. Over the next few weeks, your self-confidence will grow as you'll witness your body transforming, becoming slimmer and healthier. Feel free to let go of any negative self-talk or limiting beliefs. The gastric band is now going to help you to make great choices. And when you eat less, you're giving your body everything it needs to digest food quicker, which means your metabolism can start to speed up, becoming more efficient at burning calories and fat. And if your body needs any additional energy after your food, then your body knows that it can access energy in your body fat cells. You will start to find more and more joy in preparing and eating healthy meals. Food becomes a wonderful ritual. And when your body gets used to this healthy, natural foods, those cravings for the unhealthy food seem to diminish as you nourish your body with wholesome alternatives. Allow your subconscious mind to guide you towards making choices that support the new body and the new shape that you are moving towards. Trust that your body will work with you to shed those extra pounds or kilos of weight that you don't want anymore. You will recalibrate your definition of hunger, because a lot of what you thought was hunger wasn't hunger at all. Maybe it was just low energy levels. Maybe it was your stomach contracting. Maybe it was seeing someone else eat and just wanting food, but that's not real hunger. And as you change your definition of hunger, you realize that 3 Small meals a day is more than enough to give your body the energy and nutrition that it needs. So you listen to your body's hunger, but also the fullness cues. So you eat when you're hungry, but also you know when to stop. And imagine a future where every day you feel more and more confident in your ability to enjoy your food, but also enjoy losing weight. And I want you to imagine what tomorrow will be like with this new way of thinking and new way of eating. The food you will eat, how you'll prepare it, how you'll enjoy it. And then imagine the day after that. Maybe it will change what you buy in the supermarket. Maybe there's certain foods you used to eat that just don't make sense anymore. And maybe there's other things that could also change. Observe that future version of you working with your gastric band, not against it. That it's helping you to become healthier and slimmer and more confident. See yourself using other ways of dealing with stress and anxiety that have nothing to do with food. And notice also that future version of you taking up other healthy habits that take your life in a positive direction. Imagine it's the following day and you're waking up in that recovery room and you're offered that first meal. And just imagine it's a delicious meal. You're eating it deliberately, slowly, enjoying the texture, the smells, the sight, the sound, enjoying every bit of it. You're eating slowly, chewing well, but there is no desire to eat quickly. And when you finish, notice that feeling of fullness in that smaller stomach, and that there is no desire to eat anymore. And if your unconscious mind is happy that you will have a new relationship with food that supports eating less but eating better, eating less but enjoying more, just let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine leaving that clinic, going home, and having the first meal in your own home. Imagine what you'll eat, how you'll prepare it, but imagine eating it where you enjoy it, but you enjoy it because less is more. And then feel like you're returning to the present, listening to my voice. And whenever you think about your stomach, you will imagine the stomach with a gastric band pinched around it, making it small like an hourglass, giving you a sense that you are working with this smaller stomach, and you will eat accordingly. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're returning fully to the present in this moment as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.